A man is being held down. His hands are chained, and they are about to press a mask of burning hot metal onto his face, not as punishment, as a legacy. This is Destro, military contractor, weapons genius, and one of the most complex villains in the history of G.I. Joe. But here is what most fans never knew. The story of that mask goes back 400 years, and it changes everything you think you know about him. Stick around, because today we are telling the full origin of Destro. The year is 1639, and Great Britain is tearing itself apart. Three kingdoms, England, Scotland, and Ireland, are at war. Oliver Cromwell's forces are cutting through the countryside. Villages are falling, innocents caught in the crossfire. And in the middle of all that chaos, one man is making an absolute fortune. His name is Laird McCullen Destro, and he is supplying weapons to everyone. But when Cromwell's soldiers finally figure out what he has been doing, they drag him in chains and throw one word at him: traitor. And McCullen says, "I am no traitor, sirrah. I am an entrepreneur." 400 years later, that DNA is still in every single thing Destro does. Now here is where it gets interesting. Nobody wants to condemn him, because if McCullen is gone, who supplies the weapons? So instead, they come up with something far worse. They find the musket balls fired from McCullen's own weapons, pulled from the bodies of fallen soldiers on both sides, and they melt them down. "You shall wear a crown smelted from your shame," they tell him. "We smelted it from the musket balls you provided, dug from the bodies of good men they struck down." The very weapons he sold, forged into a prison for his own face. They press the burning metal mask onto his face. And here is the thing that separates the McCullen bloodline from everyone else in this story. That mask does not destroy the family. It defines them. Generation after generation, the McCullens pass that mask down, not as a symbol of shame, but as a symbol of power, of survival, of a family that the world tried to break and could not. By the time we get to James McCullen Destro the 24th, that mask is not a punishment anymore. It is a crown. Fast forward 300 years. The McCullen family has turned their ancestors' hustle into something much bigger. Meet the Military Armaments Research Syndicate, M.A.R.S. Industries, the most advanced private military technology manufacturer on the planet. And at the heart of it all, Castle Destro, a fortress in the Scottish Highlands that has belonged to the McCullen family for centuries, guarded by private troops, stocked with weapons technology that most governments can only dream about. This is not a villain with a mountain base. This is a man with a dynasty, and he is about to get a very interesting phone call. 1983, Marvel Comics, issue 11, deep beneath the town of Springfield, Cobra's secret headquarters. Cobra Commander has a problem. G.I. Joe has stumbled onto his pipeline operation earlier than expected. The commander wants to take down a power facility to cover their tracks. But the Baroness stops him cold. "Too drastic," she says. "This calls for a subtler hand, a specialist." And then the commander says something that tells you everything about how he sees Destro. A man with infinite finesse. If I am the counterpart of General Flag, then this man is the counterpart of Hawk. He shall be my surrogate commander in the field. He respects Destro. But watch that very carefully, because it does not last. The commander tries to introduce Destro to the Baroness. She cuts him off before he finishes the sentence. "We have already met, Cobra Commander." And the commander's response? You know him? How? When? Right there in issue 11, Larry Hama plants a seed. These two have a history, a secret, and Cobra Commander is the last to know. The Baroness and Destro have a past that goes back long before Cobra ever existed, and that secret becomes a powder keg that burns through the entire series. Destro takes command of the Cobra ground forces in Alaska the entire time. He is calm. He is precise. He is everything Cobra Commander is not. But here is the thing about Destro. He is never truly loyal to anyone. He works with Cobra. He does not work for them. By issue 18, we see just how independent he really is. He is running his own operation through New York City, chasing a man named Scarface in a pink Cadillac from an ice cream truck. Because of course he is. This is a man who brokers deals for supervillains and still somehow has total dignity doing it. Issue 33. Springfield. Cobra Commander is holding a massive rally. Troops. The Cobra Youth Brigade. The full spectacle of his movement on display. Destro is on the platform. He has binoculars. He is scanning the crowd. And then he sees him. A kid in the front rank of the Youth Brigade, carrying a hidden weapon. His name is Billy. And he is about to try to take out Cobra Commander. What Destro does next tells you exactly who this man really is. He jumps off that platform, pushes past Storm Shadow, grabs the kid's arm. The weapon discharges, misses, and Destro stands between the boy and everyone else in that arena. He turns to the commander and says, "We may have some differences of opinion and even hostility between us, but there are still some things I will not allow." Cobra Commander looks at the boy, and the boy says two words that change everything. Dad? Cobra Commander had a son who was recruited to take him out. And the man who saved both of them was the military contractor the commander spent years trying to outmaneuver. That is Destro's code. He will supply weapons to anyone. He will work alongside villains and warlords and madmen. But some lines he does not cross. Not for money, not for loyalty, not for anything. Issue 57. Destro is done with Cobra, for now. He flies back to Scotland, back to the Highlands, back to the castle that has belonged to his family for centuries. And when he gets there, someone has taken his seat. There is an imposter sitting in Castle Destro. Destro deals with it the old-fashioned way, with his fists, in the Great Hall, in front of his own troops. When the mask comes off the imposter, the face underneath is Major Blood, a Cobra operative, planted there by the scheming of Serpentor. Cobra just tried to take Destro's ancestral home, the home that has stood for 400 years, the home where the mask was passed down generation after generation. That is not a political move. That is a declaration of war. But here is what happens next. And this is the part that defines everything. Destro made a deal before any of this went down. He promised Lady J, a G.I. Joe operative, that if she helped him retake the castle, he would hand over the Terror Drome blueprints. His troops have guns trained on the entire Joe team. His sergeant major is asking whether to take them down. And Destro says, the problem with making a pact with a pretty lady is that one is obligated to honor it. He lets them go, even when he does not have to, even when no one would ever know, even when keeping the blueprints would give him a massive advantage. That is the McCullen Code, 400 years running. You honor your deals. You hold your line. You survive. A man with a dynasty, a code and a mask that carries the weight of 400 years. But this is just the beginning. And if you have ever wondered something about Destro that you have never seen explained, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. This has been the Retro Secrets, and the case of Destro is now open.